haga gione andu ni kurega maregete gwiciria na ningi mageciria tuli tugege nikio tu die kana andu ari maramuthomithio horo uyu wa gwikate no mundu wimenyete ona gacibu akamwira uri mwega bwana ci umuhe gitio akwira ndukahande miti ukumenya ni undu wake akauga yura ngathiate ukamwira tondu miti cigwikire na ururiko na ndegikagia miti no kuhandwe handabo ukamucirithia ukamutwarithia na ugi tugaga ukura mundu arikia kwimenya ri tugaga athiaga ta nyoka na ugi mwingi muno no agakorwa horeire ta ndutura nditugo kuria Ngai rati agathie ta nyoka ari mugi muno no agakorwa horeire ta ndutura to nake cibo cio ngimuria atiriri urua miti The movement started as a tree planting campaign. That's how we enter into communities. But it is a little more than just the planting of trees. It's planting of ideas. It's giving people a reason why they should stand for their rights. It's giving them reasons why they should protect their environmental rights. And giving them reason why they should protect their women's rights.
Ndiraruta wira uria twiragwo turaruta wa wana wa gwikira tiri haha i na nie ndikiugaga ni wana ni menyaga ni wira ndiraruta tondu riri ni wangare wa mathai waturiga tuhande miti nigetha tutigae guthinio ni ngu na mwako na atumia aria iguta matwiraga ni wira twagita wa kuruta turaruta wa wana tukihakura tiri ta ciana njekerange ninuke ngatwire mburi na njike maria mangi njikaga.
You cannot protect the environment unless you empower people, you inform them, and make them understand that the resources are their own resources. They must protect them.
When they have been shown the importance of traditional and indigenous food crops and perennial crops that are always in the farm, they understand now that that will make food available all the year round. If need be, you can go harvest some root crops if you don't have money to go to the kiosk and buy.
Malanabo nabo green beldi ya mbere siengire ndai sana da ni hanyala na jana kulanga bya khulya khwa me ine ndera ne mbere si family ya khulya ta sinya na galgini chinchuku njingona mungire kinde nda munyanyi enga kama fra malambo na ngambo khulina kamani kamalwale sikali kho kubana barinda irayile male singwe ndayirayile yitasikira babana baje bya khulya biba yeresya kamani ese yani ngananja khulima bya khulya bikhala atandi sefwana ndita atandi sana kofula khale umuriwe bantu bikimyaga kyange balosi kabisa balosi bisera la balosi sakolye kolye lakini khubera bya khulya bino bikile sasa khembone khananga nembone khandi.
People who are colonized lose a lot of knowledge accumulated all through the ages in the food they eat, in the way they prepare it, in the way they pass the art of agriculture to the next generation. Because we lose the values that we associated with that natural world. We are still living in denial. We are still denying who we are. We are still denying our roots. If we can recapture some of that, the values in our cultures, that the trees are important, the birds are important, then we would be able to take care of the environment. And I know if we are able to take care of our environment, then we can survive. In 1989, the government, led by President Moi, wanted to take Uhuru Park and build a 62-story skyscraper and a 4-story statue of President Moi himself, constructed using funds that we are going to be borrowed from international institutions such as the World Bank. This is a public park. It's the only place in Nairobi where you can go and lie down and nobody asks you what you are doing and nobody asks you for a fee.
The movement, the Green Belt was really growing at that time. And when this information came to her, she immediately came to the office and said, well, guess what? They are about to destroy the only major park in Nairobi. We cannot let it happen. And then she said, now I have an idea. I said, okay, what's the idea? I want to protest through the British government. I've written this letter, okay. The financiers were coming from abroad, and they were financing something that they wouldn't do in their own state.
We wrote and we gave the example of how the environment in third world countries is destroyed with the full knowledge and support of the developed countries who support dictators, who don't help us to overcome these dictators, and who do business with these dictators, and then hold the poor people to account.
It infuriated the head of state, and it infuriated the parliamentarians because they felt, why should she take this local issue outside of the confines of this sovereign state?
So this one afternoon, Parliament was literally stopped. They actually stopped the debate that was going on to discuss me. And they had nothing but abusive language against me. They want to get personal. They want to debase your womanhood. So I said, now don't give me that. Just use the anatomy that matters right now. And that is from the neck up.
Na mama moja anajitokeza na kwa desturi mama kwa Kiafrika lazima kuheshimu wanaume. Na mimi nauliza akina mama, muko wapi kutudiscipline moja wapo wenu ambaye amevuka mpaka?
Because of the condemnation and the exchanges of words between her and members of parliament and the public, and most people were saying, this lady, I think she must be out of her head.
I remember friends walking across the street so that we would not meet. And I remember some friends meeting me and not wanting to stand and talk because they did not want to be associated.
She was disobedient at a time when disobedience was not tolerated.
The system said, how dare you? What do you think you are? Do you think you are? So they said, a woman to answer a man?
You raise your consciousness to a level where you feel that you must do the right thing because it is the only right thing to do.
It was a turning point, but most people could not understand also or imagine the courage of an individual who could stand up against this dictator. To me, in all her fights, that was the biggest fight. Because that also was the turning point in this country, that no matter how small, no matter what you are, you can make a difference.
The international community withdrew and did not give President Moi the money that he needed, and so the project died. It was at that point that people felt that if one little woman of no, no significance as far as they were concerned, except that I was so stubborn, can stop that building. Surely, this government can be changed. Well, you know, I'm a child of the soil. When a baby was born in our community, the women would have gone to the farm and they would have come back with a bunch of bananas. They would have come back with sweet potatoes. My father would have sacrificed a fat lamb, and they would have taken a little bit of the meat and they would have roasted it. All of these would be given to my mother to chew and then give me a bit of that juice. That's the first thing we as children would have eaten. It is like introducing you to the land and giving you the fruits of the land and telling you, the idea was, welcome to this world of plenty. And as you grow up, you go with your mother to the land, and as you cultivate and remove the weeds, there is a feeling of contentment, a feeling that you are one with the land. The experiences of childhood are very much what molds us and makes us who we are. The water you drink, the air you breathe, the food you eat, that's what you become. The world of my childhood was a world that was full of life, where children were given stories. And these stories were living stories. My aunt especially was very good at telling stories, and I loved to go and visit her because she would tell me stories till I would fall asleep. And her stories were about dragons, about animals, a world where animals would talk to you. All the stories ended on a good note. It was almost a lesson. Be careful with life. Be careful with tricksters who will put you into trouble. Don't be greedy. Don't be selfish. You get all this teaching through these stories. It was my brother, my oldest brother. It was him who suggested, why don't I go to school? My mother, bless her, she agreed. She said, there's no reason why not. She herself never went to school. The first day, I remember, I was accompanied by a cousin. Halfway through school, he sat me down and told me he wanted to show me something very interesting. And I said, yeah. So he took a slate. We were using slates. And he took a slate and he wrote something. Of course, I couldn't tell what he had written. And I said, wow, so you can write. Yeah, he could. And then he rubbed it. And that was miraculous. It disappeared. And he asked me, can you do that? I said, no, I can't do that. And that was a great motivation for me, how I longed to be able to write and rub.
And from there, you do this one.
I was entering the world where there were books to read.
You divide this long division long.
There is something about the religious, people who are doing things for the common good, who are pursuing truth,
I felt like I was valued. I felt like I was protected. I grew to believe that everybody's rights should be respected. Everybody should be listened to. I guess I was copying